Following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys! This is Mick Shots.
Streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app.
Now, here are Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
Producer Supreme, Chris Beam, I wanted to start the show with that, and I'm sitting here wondering why, and I'm thinking, we've got a schedule.
That's right.
Schedule, baby.
We've got a schedule. Is that the reason, Producer Supreme?
No.
Yes.
It's the
Of course
start.
it is.
It is.
It's the start of OTAs today.
Okay, it's that too.
It is the
fired
start
up
of
for that.
OTAs today.
In fact,
It's practice day.
that was not only blaring on this podcast and in our headsets, but I bet Producer Supreme was blaring it out on the practice field here because we are about to have football players on a football field for OTAs.
Man, that would be kind of cool to play that out there while they're practicing.
That's right.
They would think it's lame as hell. But
That's right.
to us, it would be kind of cool.
I don't know. I saw some lifts moving some equipment around out there.
Mm-hmm.
So you're thinking that nothing's going to happen on the practice field because of rainy conditions
Maybe
today?
go indoors. I don't know.
Well, we've got...
We'll see, but they're supposed to start OTAs today.
Speaking of indoors, by the way,
Yes.
Producer Supreme has supplied us with this information today. This is a very big day in the world of high school girls flag football. The championship tournament is at Ford Center right here at the Star in Frisco tonight. We've got a bracket and everything. We're going to be breaking it down here for the next hour here on Mix Shots. But seriously, it's been a great thing where they've been playing all spring. 5 North Texas school districts have been playing in this spring league, and this is Championship Monday for girls flag football in North Texas high schools, and play-in games start at 5:30 tonight. You can come out to Ford Center and check it out because this is the fastest growing sport in America, I think.
So I'm going to ask you guys a question. What do you think the key factor in these teams winning?
Quarterback.
Absolutely. I watched them during the draft. They were out there playing on that.
And how many girls would you say were out here?
Oh,
I mean,
there
it
was games, just one.
and they played on the outdoor. These are going to be indoors at Ford Center,
Yeah.
but during the spring, they would be out here on Saturdays, and it was packed with
warm-ups, the whole thing.
Yeah,
But
You saw some good arms
the
out there?
first thing I noticed, if you didn't have a quarterback who could throw the ball, you couldn't win.
Yeah, you can't win.
Yeah.
You can't win.
And it was all, I said, you know what? High school, college, NFL, UFL, and now girls flag high school football. You better have a quarterback.
Well,
It's still football.
Right?
No matter what,
Right.
it's
And
still football.
the beautiful thing about this flag football is you don't have to worry about your left tackle either.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So anyway, that's going on tonight, and we got much to get to.
Yes.
I just came from my grandson's kindergarten graduation. That's why I'm dressed up today.
Very nice.
Graduation season.
Kindergarten.
Early morning. Oh, afterwards.
No, it was this morning.
Yeah, I went to one this past weekend. It was like 9 o'clock in the morning. All of them in the morning now.
Yeah. So, but was it kindergarten?
No.
This was kindergarten
college,
graduation. Yeah. So I think they graduate every grade. They They have a kindergarten graduation, first grade, second grade. On
It sounds like a participation trophy to me.
Yeah, I think, well, they charge admission, so no.
Well, yeah, to make money.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, to make money. But we've got so much to get to because we not only had the schedule release, we got some.
God, that seems like a year ago. It was last week, wasn't it?
We got league meetings going on this week, and there's some
Tomorrow
topics to talk about there. And we've got OTAs, and the next 3 to 4 weeks are big around here because of OTAs the next 3 weeks, and then the mandatory mini camp. And we're just a little over 2 months away now from reporting to Oxnard, California for training camp.
July
20th, I think,
20th.
which is my anniversary.
Is
It's
it?
going to be an issue.
It's always about Bill.
Well, it's a big anniversary. It's number 40. And
Oh,
so-
damn. Yeah, it is about you.
that's
Well, no, it's not about you. It's about her. Let's just be real.
Mine,
So I got to figure that out.
Mine's always during the draft.
So, all right. So, where would you
I
like
was
to start?
smart. Valentine's Day.
Valentine's.
gotta be
Well, you don't forget.
You
And
gotta
then you
be
double up,
smart,
too.
guys. Yes,
That's right.
You gotta,
That's a
gotta know how to
great
handle these
idea.
things.
Gosh, what a nice
You gotta know how to handle these things, brothers.
My great idea was I didn't want to have to cover the Ole Miss spring game, so I got married that weekend.
Everything's predicated on football.
That's right.
Sports. That's a
Got it.
damn shame.
That's right. And I've always said,
Plan your life.
who gets married during football season?
That's right. Nobody.
I mean, you can't get married during football season.
And we have a grand tour coming.
Yes, we do. It's so
And they're
distracting.
stopping and looking at Mickey.
That's right.
Like, who is that little guy?
All right. So, where do we start? Where would you like to start?
Want to start with the schedule?
Got to start with the schedule.
Okay, we start with the schedule, and when the schedule came out, I proclaimed that 6-game stretch has to be there. There has to be no other team in the history of football that has been scheduled a 6-game stretch with as many wins from the previous season on their opponent's record as this one. And sure enough, it was verified by Elias the next day.
Was it?
It is the just based on the one-loss record for those teams last season, that 6-game stretch that starts with Philadelphia on Thanksgiving week, the Sunday before Thanksgiving, continues with Kansas City on Thanksgiving Day, Detroit the following Thursday. See if I got it down. Minnesota the next week, and
Chargers.
Chargers
come
the
on, man.
next
Let him-
week.
let him
yeah,
flare. Let him flare.
Chargers. I
Thought he
paused for a
was
second.
struggling.
Yeah, Chargers the next week, and then when you get to Christmas Day and Washington, did I miss one in there?
No.
Okay, 6 games there. The combined record of those 6 teams, 6 opponents last year, 81-21, and there has been no 6-game stretch on a schedule where you've had all opponents in that 6 games win 11 games or more the previous season.
What
And
about
now.
having to play the 2 conference champions back to back? Back to back. And so that means 3 straight division champions: Philadelphia, Kansas City, Detroit. Right?
So why were you waving your arms like
Because-
it appeared to be in disagreement?
No,
Oh,
no.
you were agreeing.
I was
Okay.
getting ready to say what
He didn't want you to steal his thunder.
Oh,
He wanted
okay.
to-
That's right.
Yeah.
what I wrote. I said somewhere with that stretch, that NFL computer is giggling.
Why you saying that?
Because it's like, it can't be. You got 17 games and you put those 6
We're going to
together.
put them up
Right there.
6 in a row, just like
And I'm
that.
going, yeah, somebody's having fun with
And that's
that one.
always the most difficult part of the season for the Cowboys because of the Thanksgiving game and the scheduling that goes on that time of year. So we already had to deal with the scheduling alone.
Yeah.
Now we're talking about the quality of teams that are within that schedule.
Which, by
that
the
makes
way-
it even double tough.
The 3 to start that in 12 days. 12
That's what I mean.
days.
That's my point.
And the 2 to end it are in 4 days.
Yes. How does that happen?
You know, they've always laid it on us this time of year. They always do.
I mean, you knew who you had to play.
I mean,
serious.
It hasn't been this serious, but they've always laid it on. The schedule makers have always put it to us during this time of year, sometime around Thanksgiving. That's just the way it is for us. It's been like that for quite some time.
They have. I don't think they've ever scheduled on Thanksgiving Day an opponent quite like Kansas City on Thanksgiving Day.
But
I think
you know what?
you would
we
look
talked
at,
about it, though.
I think you could look through the 60-year history of the game, and if everybody's healthy going into that, this will be the most anticipated Thanksgiving Day game ever for the Cowboys.
We talked about it on our last show, right? We said, would they put Kansas City on Thanksgiving? And it was like, well, that game's so big,
Right.
you're going to watch on Thanksgiving
Right.
regardless. I go, yeah, but the connection with the Chiefs being here in Dallas.
And it's Mahomes' first NFL game ever at AT&T Stadium.
Yeah, so there
Is it?
was reasons.
When they they only play every 4 years.
Yeah.
And they were on the road at Kansas City 4 years ago.
Okay.
And in 2017, his rookie season, he didn't play.
Okay.
Was that the Miles Austin game?
No, that's going way back.
That's farther back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
What is happening here? Miles Austin? Miles Austin? Give me a. He said Miles
might be
Austin.
going back-
Austin Miles.
Right.
I believe we're going back to 2009.
Yeah,
for that.
man.
For
Come
that
on,
game.
bro. Miles Austin. What is happening?
Anyway, there's your 6-game stretch. So that means the Cowboys need to go the first 10 games of the season before you hit that stretch. But having said all of that, just because they were all 11 wins or more last year doesn't mean they're going to be that this year. Although I look at those teams and I'm thinking they might be.
Well,
Minnesota's got a rookie quarterback.
can
basically.
you go 7-3 over the first 10?
You're going to have to. I think you should. I think you should look forward to doing that because as you get into after November, around Thanksgiving.
Yeah, November 23rd
Yeah.
is when it starts. Okay, what can you go during that 6-game stretch, you think? Can you go 3-3 during that stretch? And that being the case, if you went 7-3 prior to that, you're to 10 wins going into the finale at the Giants.
Well,
You got to look forward to others having a tough schedule as well. I mean, Philadelphia's not going to have it easy.
That's the thing is when you look at the NFC East this year, and everybody's playing the NFC North and everybody's playing the AFC West.
Yeah.
And so
That's tough, boy.
Yeah.
That's tough. And I love it. Philadelphia's going through the same crap we're going through. DC,
they may just not. They just don't have it back to back to back.
Right. But
at
still,
some point, they're actually playing a tougher
going to
schedule.
meet the road.
And they're playing a tougher schedule on paper, based on last year's record than what the Cowboys are, because they're playing the first place schedule and the Cowboys are playing the third place schedule.
And the Cowboys they just happen to be playing all of their tough teams towards the end of the season.
And when
But you still got the Commanders. You still have Green Bay. You still got Philadelphia at home, but away. I mean, that's tough, man.
And we knew this before last Wednesday.
Denver?
Yeah,
Broncos in
at
Denver?
Yep.
Come on, man.
the Eagles have to play 11 games against playoff teams. So at home, they've got Detroit, the Rams, Denver, and then it's Raiders, Chicago. Away, they got to play Green Bay, Minnesota, Tampa Bay, Kansas City, the Chargers, and the Bills. So every one of their away games is against the team that went to the playoffs.
Wow.
But the real difference is in when you look at division rivals, okay, there's only 3 games on each team's schedule that's different from the other teams.
Right.
Okay? And for the Cowboys, because of their third place finish last year, those 3 games are at the Jets, at the Panthers, and home against Arizona. For the Eagles, those 3 games are at the Bills, at Tampa Bay, and home against the Rams. So there's the difference in the schedule is in terms of one-loss record from last year.
Well,
They've got to play.
The Thanksgiving game alone, does that make it any different for other teams as it does make a difference for us, the Cowboys?
What do you mean?
Just in regards to the scheduling itself.
Well,
Having to play on Thanksgiving Day.
they got to play on Thanksgiving Day. They got to play on Christmas Day. And I'm not happy about that.
I mean, to me, that just
They didn't ask me, though.
to me, that just adds to the difficulty of the schedule.
They're playing on
Once
the
again,
road
we start
on
talking about the
Christmas
timing
too.
and the
not
quality of teams.
not only on the road, but on the East Coast, because the previous times they played on Christmas, they were night games, and two of them were in Phoenix and one was Nashville. And I flew to the games that day, like noon. Got there for night games.
So you were there for Santa Claus to deliver.
I missed
presents for
one
you.
meal.
So you were there to open presents.
This
when
one's
Santa
gonna be
dropped
very
them off
difficult.
overnight. Now this time you can't do that.
Have you ever woke up on Christmas morning in a hotel room?
I have not.
I think I have.
You have?
Pretty sure I have.
It sounds sad.
You hear the whisper in my voice.
Yeah.
It happens a lot for college football teams when they're playing in a bowl game. And,
Right.
But they're amongst friends.
Family, right?
And family is there too,
Yeah.
a lot of times.
So once again, am I wrong in thinking this, that with the Cowboys playing on Thanksgiving Day, doesn't that just add to the difficulty of the schedule itself?
Yeah, because you're going to play the Super Bowl champion on Sunday and the Super Bowl runner-up on Thursday.
Have we ever done it?
2 games.
Has it
for
ever
5
been that
days.
difficult? This stretch right here, has it ever been that difficult?
Well, I
The
told
6
you,
games.
Elias says that there's never been a 6-game stretch on a schedule where all 6 opponents won at least 11 games a year before.
So we better kick ass during these first
Yeah, so you better come out of the chute.
7 or 10 games or whatever.
Now, one thing about the Thursday is now everybody's playing Thursday games now.
Okay.
And
that's why I was asking.
And we're
if it
looking
makes
at
a difference
multiple, but
The Cowboys
this is,
are playing 4.
yeah, but only 2 of them are on short rest.
now, as opposed to the other teams.
Well, and I'll have to go back and look. There's a number of teams that are playing multiple Thursday games. In fact, all of the ones that are playing on Thanksgiving Day or Christmas Day are at some point during the season, where they may not be playing on both holidays, but they're playing 2 Thursday games on short rest.
So the holidays don't really make a difference.
Not the holiday,
But the difference from
short
the
time.
difference
It's the timing, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the difference
The,
for
the holiday, that's a whole different other thing.
the difference for the Cowboys from past seasons is this is the first time they played 2 Thursday games in the same season on short rest. They've played 2 Thursday games, but they've always scheduled it where they play
have
on
that weekend
on
off,
Thanksgiving
and they
and then they play the following Thursday.
Right.
And so it's not 2 on short
Right.
rest.
So all this notion, by the way, the Cowboys coming off a 7-10 season, is that they're losing their national appeal, right? 7 nationally televised games. That's the most you're supposed to be able to have. And playing on, well, we knew they'd play on Thanksgiving, but they got chosen to play on Christmas. So what does that say?
And
Right?
they got chosen to play on the kickoff to the season too.
Yes.
Thursday game.
So, some people need to retract their premise that the Cowboys are losing.
We still
their
got
appeal.
it, baby. We still look good in lipstick. We look good with lipstick on.
And by the way, from a season ticket standpoint, I remember Stephen Jones pointed out that they had 99% renewals of their season tickets. Go online and try to find a single game ticket available. I looked at like 3 games,
Well, let me say
and
this.
it was standing
Let me
room
say this:
only.
the Cowboys, I don't think they have the appeal of uneven matchups, such as if the Cowboys, so much better than, let's say, with Carolina. That appeal isn't there playing someone like Carolina or maybe playing someone like the Jets if they continue to flail the way they are. But if you have us matched up against quality teams, that's where it gets to be so intriguing for the fans and for TV.
Well, how about having a Monday night game against Arizona? Does it get you all fired up?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they are,
Yeah, they are.
right?
I wouldn't think it would. I wouldn't think it would compare to playing against Detroit or playing against Philly on NBC. I wouldn't think it would compare to that.
I mean, even the first, if you are concerned about home versus road, the first 6 games, 4 of them are on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you better be ready to play, and you better be able to win on the road. These are winnable games at Chicago, at the Jets, at the Panthers.
The only way you're going to win on the road is with a running game and with defense. That's the only way you're going to consistently win.
That's what they did at Pittsburgh last year. Remember that?
That's right.
You know, there was I saw a lot of worries about having to open.
It helped that Fields was a quarterback on the other side.
They have to.
And
obviously,
he might be the quarterback.
The offensive line. Too.
He may be.
He's likely going to be the quarterback for the Jets.
We can't put it out on Fields. You got that offensive line.
I saw a lot of worries about having to open against Philadelphia, and I'm going. You know what? Let's go.
Let's go.
You know, go in the locker room right now and just put Eagles on the video board, and put it out on the field, because you better get your butt ready to play football, right? And if you need some extra incentive, if opening on the first day of the NFL season isn't enough, you got to play the Eagles. Come on, go. And everybody's like, well, you know, and you got a new coaching staff and a new coordinator, this and new. I go, yeah. And Philadelphia doesn't know what you've got.
That's
right? Or what he's going to do.
They can only think they have an idea.
You think they're going to show anything in those 3
Nope.
preseason games? Are you serious?
They're not.
They may not even play
We're going to
that.
have the binoculars outside looking for spies, because we're going to have something new for them. But when you look at this team, they're going to have, first of all, we got to have talent. You have to believe in your team having talent. We picked up some talent. We picked up Pickens. I saw an interview the other day. I hope it's not just hype, but I'm sure you saw it. CD and Pickens at the same spot. I don't know where they were. They were at a game or something. And CD was bragging on Pickens. Pickens bragging on CD. That's the kind of stuff you like to see. I hope it stays true. Because if you have guys that admire each other like that, respect each other like that, then it doesn't matter who gets to cook, right? It doesn't matter. We're not going to have any issues in that regard as far as personality is concerned. We have talent on this team now, a little bit better talent than we had last year, I believe, especially the potential, because a lot of them now are younger. It's younger talent. But I don't know about the beginning of the season. Once we get these guys back from these injuries and the ACLs and all of that, we're going to have to be ready to go by, let's say, the Commanders game, the first Commanders game. Here at home,
which is October 19th, which is the 7th game of the season.
We got to be. We're gonna be. I think we're gonna be struggling until that. I don't think we'll have our team together.
Wait, we can't be struggling. We got a 6-game stretch coming up Thanksgiving. We got to rack up wins, Everson. What do you mean?
They got to go 7-3.
That's how it goes. You don't know. It's not going to be easy, guys. It's not going to be easy. This team is going to struggle coming out. I'm sorry. They're going to struggle coming out. You just got to be ready for it. Now, those knocks that they're going to take, that's okay. That's okay. Don't be scared, Bill. Don't be afraid, because you're going to be ready now. Remember, iron sharpens iron? You don't remember that? Come on.
That's right.
So you got to be ready for that.
McCarthy used to talk about September football, and September football is not like November football.
No, it isn't. It better not be.
They need to treat September football like November football.
Well, that's going to be hard to do when you got guys still trying to ramp up outside. Okay, right. Let's just be real. We got guys ramping up. Okay, let's say by Green Bay, you're still going to have guys ramping up.
That's the 4th game, Green Bay.
You're still going to have guys ramping up outside. Okay, let's just be real about that.
You got 4 bowl games before you hit November.
Okay, which ones are those? Philadelphia, Green Bay, Washington,
and Denver.
Are your
all
bowl games.
Playoff teams from last year.
Now, how do you think a 7-10 team is going to do against all playoff teams?
That was a 7-10 team that didn't have its quarterback
That's
the
right.
last
That's right.
really 10 games of the season, because he got hurt in the 10th game.
That's true.
So they're going to sneak up on people.
They better. They better tiptoe.
It's going to be No, I'm not going to use that analogy.
Please don't.
Yeah.
If you question it, then don't use it.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, we're just getting started here. There's some things going on at the league meetings this week that we need to address. It also affects divisions and schedules and that sort of thing. Could be highly controversial. And Mix Shots continues in a moment.
Cowboys football and Miller Lite. What a pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Sunday night overtimes followed by Monday morning swagger. Brisket in the smoker. Miller Lite in the cooler. America's team playing America's greatest sport. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
How do you tell the world about all the great gifts in the Yeti store? Let her rip, Troy.
All right, folks, let's get started with the Yeti French Press. Enjoy coffee that stays hot for hours in a French press. 34 ounce for you, 6'4" for the cruise. The Yeti French Press. Hot mix waterproof bags. Bags waterproof. Submersible waterproof doubles. Waterproof bags. World's mostly water, so get a waterproof Yeti bag. Do I smell something cooking? Oh, new cast iron skillets made to be passed down like Mama's recipes. Take a steak, cornbread, cobbler's pot pie, and potatoes next level with 3 sizes of Yeti cast iron skillets.
Gear, gifts, and product experts. Visit the Yeti store on McKinney Street and at South Lake Town Square today.
Hey, Cowboy fans, I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. But lately, I've been learning a new game, crypto. Sound confusing? Don't worry, even us pros were rookies in crypto once. That's why I trust blockchain.com. They make crypto easy. No confusing jargon, just the tools to help you win.
Prescott keeps it, slides with a first down.
Invest like your icons, where everyone is a rookie in crypto with blockchain.com.
Perfect throw, my goodness. Wow, did he ever thread the needle?
Visit blockchain.com/cowboys to get started.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Back to Mixed Shots.
Get excited for the most dazzling DCC experience yet. Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders on tour is coming to a theater near you. Witness live performances, enjoy on-stage Q&A session, and even be part of a live audition. If you're in Dallas, San Antonio, Austin, Midland, or El Paso, mark your calendar. And for those dates and tickets, visit DallasCowboysCheerleaders.com/tour.
Okay, very good. Some reason my headset's not working. Can you hear me fine?
I can hear you.
Okay,
just fine.
I'll just live with it then.
I'm right eared.
Okay, well, neither one mine working. I got dead set on. Okay, so
Just take them off. You probably could hear me.
I can hear you fine. And I heard Producer Supreme, too, right before that. And then all of a sudden I couldn't hear Everson. Okay. You're aware of what's going on at these little winter meetings?
Yes.
I mean, the spring meetings, league meetings in Minneapolis, which start tomorrow. What intrigues you about it?
To see maybe what they decide on eliminating Australian rules football from the game.
Meaning the push.
No, every push.
Okay.
Get rid of all the pushes. Don't just say tush push. 5 yards down the field and you're pushing the running back another 5 yards with 3 offensive
That kind of gets the offensive lineman excited. You don't like that?
No, it's not.
I mean, I'm not talking about the tush push.
No,
I mean, like
that's because if you do that, then you're not saying I'm penalizing one team, right? Because everybody's saying, oh, they're penalizing the Eagles because they're good at it. No,
so
all
you're gonna get rid of all pushing.
Get rid of all. That's the way
it's
it used
football.
to. When you played, there was no pushing.
Football.
There was no pushing when you played.
But they did allow it. They had stopped it.
Yes, they did.
And then they let it come back.
Right.
And now they're trying to stop it again.
Well, I'm saying they should. I don't.
So they're
know
not talking about that.
No, they're going to talk about it.
Okay.
Because it got represented, so it wasn't like, well, the Packers are pissed because the Eagles tush pushed them, and it's not about. To me, it shouldn't be about one play. It should be about all the pushing.
And it sounds like they're going to do something about it.
Yeah,
right.
I think so. And they need to. that pushing stuff's going to get hurt. It happens on the goal line, doesn't it?
Yeah, but nobody's gotten hurt yet.
Yeah, I know.
I know. It just, I think, why not adopt it or adapt it? Why not adopt the tush push instead of getting rid of it?
So which team, it was a playoff game, right? Where they had like 3 offsides in a row?
Yeah.
Because they were gambling.
It was Frankie Louvu. It was Washington.
Washington.
It was Washington.
Right?
Frankie Louvu.
Yeah.
They kept going.
Which, by the way, they
they
just had him on NFL Network when he became an American citizen. Mm-hmm. He's from Samoa, I think. But anyway, yeah. So at one point, they had to point out, do it one more time, and it's a touchdown.
Right.
So, yeah, do we need that? Because that's what you should do. Mm-hmm. What do you have to lose if you're at the 1-yard line? Oh, you're offsides. Okay, it's half a yard.
Right.
Oh, you're offsides. Now it's a quarter.
So you're saying that's where the injuries could come, where everyone's just selling out.
Could jump over the top, right? Because they're not eliminating jumping over the top.
If I were Philly, I'd be offended because I have something that works for me.
I understand. You know? That's why I'm saying
I'm devil's advocate here.
It needs to be presented the way I did.
Right.
You're not punishing Philly. You're punishing all the pushing going on.
But you're really punishing Philly.
Well,
right.
It's just part of it, right?
Because they've got a quarterback who can squat 600 pounds.
Well,
and that's their recruiting. They got the guy they wanted to do the things they want.
But the quarterback sneak with him will probably be equally effective.
I think so, too.
Right?
It won't be as effective.
Oh, well, I don't know. Because now they don't know.
You know why it won't be as effective? Because we're trying to change the rules right now. So that means that it's damn effective. Right? I mean, so it's more effective now. I mean, the percentage of it working with push versus without, it's better with. If I'm speaking as Philadelphia Eagles here.
Right.
And so I'd be upset.
Well,
because you guys are personally attacking something that we came up with and my coaching staff came up with that just happens to be elite.
I don't care where on the field, if it's 3rd and short, or 4th and short,
no push.
I'm playing the percentages. I'm jumping to the snap. And if they get it, they get it, because chances are the percentage says they're going to get it anyway, right? Because they can't stop it.
Well, here's what Frankie Louvu said about it. It's kind of like a cheapo play. That's pretty much a scrum in rugby. That's how I kind of look at it. And we've got to have a scrum, too, on the other side. And the scrum is we have a cadence where we all go at once. Mm-hmm. It's not like you hard count and this and that, where now you're getting us, or myself, jumping over the pile thinking that you're going to snap the ball. Mm-hmm. That's just my own personal opinion. I'm going to leave it at that.
Well, maybe what they need to do is bring out a rope and play tug of war.
So if you're going to run, or there's no instead of, if you're going to run the play,
yes,
if you're going to run the play, there's no cadence. The quarterback doesn't signal for the snap of the ball. The referee does. And you go,
1, 2, 3,
go.
Interesting.
That way there's no advantage.
Interesting.
Because going forward's easier than trying to push backwards, right?
Uh-huh.
So I think that's one of the things
that will be
probably the main discussion.
And they'll probably outvote it, right? I mean, they'll vote it out, right?
That's what I'm thinking, which is why I think they're bringing it back.
Because there are not many people speaking for the tush push. Mm-hmm. There are not many people speaking for it at all.
Just Everson.
I'm being devil's
and Sirianni.
Yeah, I'm Sirianni in this moment here.
Okay. What about the playoff seeding that they're talking about?
Meaning
best records are seeded 1 through 4.
Oh, not division winners.
Division champion does not get the top 4 seed if they don't have one of the top 4 records. I got a big problem with this.
For or against?
I keep it the way it is.
Yes, me too.
It's
division games.
Because if you are going to just seed by record, you might as well throw out the divisions.
Right.
You don't have divisions
Right.
anymore. It's the NBA now.
Yeah.
In the NBA, I never look at the divisions when I'm looking at the playoffs.
That's why when they have
I only go to the conference record. Why do you even? There's no even a reason to have them by division there. Now, the only reason to have the divisions is for scheduling purposes, which is the precise reason that it makes no sense to do it by one-loss record, because certain divisions have a tougher schedule than other divisions have.
in the paper when they run the NBA standings, just run the conference, because I don't want to have
That's
to
right.
sit
That's
there
exactly
and
what I'm
count
saying.
1, 2,
There's
3,
no-
4, 5, 6. Oh, there's the cutoff.
And
at 8,
that'll be
right?
what it is in the NFL. There is no reason to have division standings. It would just be conference standings.
But again, at least in the NBA, you're sort of playing everybody. In the NFL,
Right.
you don't play everybody.
And so if they do this, then they need to do away with the way they've been scheduling games and scheduling it very effectively to make it very competitive for years. And they need to just draw names out of a hat and schedule that way if you're going to do it this way.
No.
Case in point is this year. We talked about it earlier. The NFC East is playing the NFC North and the AFC West this year. So what are the odds that an NFC East team is going to win 14 games this year? It's going to be very difficult for any of them to, because they're assuming that the teams are essentially the same as they were last year. But I mean, you can do this for any year. So the divisions are not scheduled. The schedules are not the same for all the divisions.
Well, let me ask you this:
It's not.
What's the devil's advocate? What's the devil's advocate for changing the present format? Why would someone want to change it? Why are they voting against it?
Because they feel like
even bringing
they
this
feel
up?
like just like this past year, you had Minnesota and Detroit, who had, and only one of those could be a division champion. That was Detroit, so Minnesota had to go on the road. It's actually
And they lost.
Detroit that's proposing it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. And that's one of the reasons. Well, they would have played at home, and if they would have had home field
That's
advantage.
great. Yeah, if they would play.
Well, how about
then they
Detroit?
should have beat Detroit. Then.
Yeah, what did Detroit do? They got beat by Washington.
Right, at home.
Exactly.
At
right.
home.
And so if you're good enough to go win on the road, you go win on the road. Dallas did it at Tampa Bay a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
The schedules aren't equitable.
So if they did it last year, 2 of the division winners would have not had to play on the road if they did it last year. Does that make sense?
Tampa, right? Tampa.
So last year the top 4 would have been Detroit, Philly. Okay, Detroit got the first round bye. It'd be Philly, and then Minnesota was 14-3, and Washington was 12-5. So Washington would have got a home game, and then it would have been Green Bay would have been the next seed, which was the worst seed in the conference, and then Tampa and the Rams were the bottom 2.
Yep.
So the 2 division winners would be the bottom 2 teams in the 6th and 7th seeds. How does that make sense?
So the NFL's idea of the meek shall inherit kind of blows away this saying divisions don't count because it's not equitable. So you got to do it by division. There's no other way around it.
Why? Well, that probably will be voted down. The change.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll be voted down.
Because it's just not. It depends.
It's working great the way it is.
Yeah, so much depends on which division you're playing.
So you got everybody in Minnesota. They want to vote this down.
Probably.
The ones that were
had to play
affected
on the road.
by it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Negatively.
So I think those are probably the 2 main things. I don't know that they've got another rule change or anything. There may be an emphasis of something. So, yeah.
So those are the 2 main
I would think so.
Things on the docket right now.
Yeah. So, with the OTAs starting today, we get to, meaning the media type, get to watch one of the 3 each week. And our day is tomorrow.
But by the way, before we leave this, I had to look this up. Okay, when Dallas went to play Tampa Bay 2 years ago in the playoffs, or when the Dallas 2022 season, was that what it was? Dallas finished second in the division, had a 12-5 record. Tampa Bay won the NFC South with an 8-9 record. Okay, so that would be a great case for, well, why do we have to go play on the road against a team that went 8-9 and we're sitting here at 12-5? Right. Are we complaining about it? You go to Tampa and you win,
and we won with a Super Bowl Hall of Fame quarterback,
and
against one,
and that's a great case for if you're good enough, you go win on the road,
right?
You know,
yeah.
So
absolutely,
anyway,
I'm not sure. If it's not weather related, going on the road shouldn't be that difficult. I don't care if you got 60,000 people there and 55,000 are cheering, against you. You're so far away, right? It's not like hockey or basketball when everybody's right on top of you.
But to your point, the equitable way that the NFL has designed their whole season, their schedule is based on the divisions. And you are throwing that out the window if you're going to throw those records out the window and say, okay, a team from the NFC South or the NFC West, because they have a better record than the NFC East team or whatever it might be.
Then don't play 2 games against your division opponents. Just play one.
I gotta say,
and add 3 games from other divisions.
I have to push back on you as far as playing on the road in football.
You think it makes that big a difference?
It makes a big difference. It can make a big difference. I just think of certain arenas such as the Super Bowl, the Superdome, Superdome in New Orleans. But
almost everybody has an indoor facility.
Yeah, but it's intimidating.
Well, those are the people.
Yes, I know. And they're loud as hell. And when you get in there, man, and everything is just concentrated on the field itself, you can feel it. I don't care if it's hockey, basketball, football is no different. You can feel it if that team is really fired up enough. You go into remember RFK Stadium? That was not a nice place to be. When those stands start moving in the end zone.
Yeah, but you weren't watching that.
I could see it. You can see it.
I know.
You're not just here looking at the. You start looking around especially when they start whooping your ass, and you start looking around.
That's what I was about to say. You talk about getting off to a good start in a season. You better get off to a good start in that game.
In the game.
And the walls will start.
That's it, man.
Caving in on
stuff.
you.
The hard part was when they turned the hot water off after the game in the locker room.
That was the worst part. That's the worst part.
I remember Walt Garrison told me that water was so cold. We played them in December. I just wore my uniform back on the charter flight.
Yeah.
I wasn't getting in that shower.
Okay, we're going to come back and look at more of Bickey's legal pad and what he's got written on there. And I'm going to fix my headset during the break, or Producer Supreme is, and we'll be back with more Mix Shots in just a moment.
Yes, sir.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pregame sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Hey Cowboy fans, I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. But lately, I've been learning a new game, crypto. Sound confusing? Don't worry, even us pros were rookies in crypto once. That's why I trust blockchain.com. They make crypto easy. No confusing jargon, just the tools to help you win.
Prescott keeps it, slides with a first down.
Invest like your icons, where everyone is a rookie in crypto with blockchain.com.
Perfect throw, my goodness. Wow, did he ever thread the needle.
Visit blockchain.com/Cowboys to get started.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pregame sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today. Cowboys football and Miller Lite. What a pairing. Can cracks a kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Sunday night overtimes followed by Monday morning swagger. Brisket in the smoker. Miller Lite in the cooler. America's team playing America's greatest sport. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
Back to Mick Shots.
Cowboys Nation, the 2025 Dallas Cowboys schedule is officially here, and limited tickets are available now. Get ready to bring the noise as you watch your Dallas Cowboys live at AT&T Stadium when they host NFC rivals Eagles, Giants, and Commanders, plus the Packers, Chiefs, Chargers, Vikings, and Cardinals. Visit DallasCowboys.com/tickets or SeatGeek.com, the official primary ticketing partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
News that also happened just prior to the weekend, in case you missed it, Brock Purdy is going to be a San Francisco 49er for the foreseeable future. No trade clause in that 5-year contract. That puts him in the top 10 average per year salaries in the league.
He deserves it.
$53 million a year.
He deserves it. He did well.
Got $180 million guaranteed. So
he deserves it.
Breaking news from Philadelphia this morning. The Philadelphia Eagles have agreed on a multi-year extension with head coach Nick Sirianni.
Saw that, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Your turn.
My turn.
No, Star's turn.
Star's turn.
Star's turn. Come on, man. We got to talk about these guys.
I can't believe I had to watch that game on my phone.
Did you?
Yeah.
Why?
I was helping with the East Dallas Exchange Club's yearly fundraising dinner, and I had a part in it. And so, which, by the way, Timmy Newsom was there, and he said to tell Everson hi.
Okay. You got a part?
They were honoring Drew Pearson.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Drew was great.
Yeah, he was.
They had Dale Hansen and Brad Sham interviewing Drew, so
Dale came back for that.
Oh yeah, he shows up for that every year. I stole one of Brad's planned lines when I had to talk about why I do this or whatever, and I said, "Oh, and by the way, Drew talked about that $150 signing bonus he got. 75 of it, he told, when his wife asked him, how much did you get? He said, I told her $75 because I took the other 75 to the athletic door and took all the boys out drinking. I remember him telling me that story.
So talk to me. Did you enjoy the match, even though it was on your phone?
Yeah.
I watch a lot of games on my phone.
Yeah, but not when you got people around you. You can't like, or start screaming or whatever, right?
You know, where you get in trouble is when you go to a wedding and there's a game on and you're watching. I've done that before.
The good thing.
It wasn't my own daughter's
commercials
wedding.
like that. There's a commercial out there like that, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
the good thing.
At a wedding, watching.
Oh, I'll be there for sure at the wedding reception. I don't have my phone. I bring my iPad for that.
Yeah.
I got to set up on our table. We're watching a football game.
Well, that's
you shouldn't have scheduled a wedding in football season, right? This is the price you have to pay for.
Bro.
Exactly.
That's how it goes.
Right.
Good thing for me was the two guys, or the couples that were sitting next to me at the table, they were wanting, what's the score? Where's it at? And I'm going, okay, they understand if I shout or something. And
I think just the most amazing thing about them is I saw these guys flailing at the end of the season.
Yeah.
I don't go to many Stars games.
And it went on into the playoffs, the first round of the playoffs, too. They were really struggling.
I remember the Jets whipping our butts 4-0.
I was there.
Man, I keep going
and
back
then I
to
had
that.
to watch two more 4-0.
Man, it was crazy. And so you sit there and think, how can you – there was no momentum going into the playoffs at all. But then you got your players back.
You know what? The Rangers did the exact same thing when they won the World Series.
Yeah.
They were flailing like crazy in September, and then all of a sudden they got it going when they had to get going. So there's a lesson to be learned.
Well, if you
That's
watched,
if you get your players back. You had, and then they acquire a player from another team.
What,
talking about
Mikko Rantanen
yes.
at the trade deadline.
Here's the deal. what the Stars did. We're all going crazy about Luka getting traded to the Lakers. The very same day that Luka got traded to the Lakers, Jim Nill, the Stars GM, acquired Mikhail Graslin from and he's had a hat trick last week.
Yes,
okay.
that's the guy.
February 1st.
That's the guy.
The same day.
That's the guy.
And then a month later, he acquired Mikko Rantanen. Well, we're still distraught over the Luka trade, and all of a sudden, this GM on the other side of the building is acquiring a Stanley Cup. Meanwhile, basically.
Yeah. What if the Cowboys made a trade and gave away 3 years of first-round picks?
And then they win the draft lottery.
Right, yeah, and then win the draft lottery. The big difference for the Stars going forward now is Miro Heiskanen can play his normal amount of minutes, and it showed in this last game. He was out there, he was carrying the puck, and
he's a defenseman. And this
what number is he? What number?
Number 4.
Okay,
they missed having a defenseman that can skate the puck out of their zone.
It proves Nico right. Defense wins championships.
Right. So we start on Wednesday night. I'll be there
against Edmonton.
Do we have a chance?
They're awfully
lost last year in the conference final to them, and this is the 3rd straight year the Stars have been in the conference final. Haven't got past this point, so here we are.
They're gonna kick their ass.
The goaltender has to be as good as he was in this one.
He's always good.
I know. Since we're on other stuff, how about Scotty Scheffler?
Can he lose?
That's unbelievable.
Can he lose?
There's only two golfers.
He was fussing the whole Thursday and Friday.
I know.
Fussing about
and then he struggled on Sunday because he shot par, and he ended up winning by 5-6 strokes.
He won by 5. He missed a putt on 18.
Yeah.
He had a 6-stroke lead. He's only the second golfer ever
This is amazing.
to win. And you may be thinking of something else I was about to say, but he's the second golfer ever to win consecutive tournaments by 5 or more strokes. Tiger did it twice in his career. Scheffler won 2 weeks ago. Now the field wasn't anywhere near a major field when he played at the Byron Nelson 2 weeks ago, and he won by 8 strokes.
Would you compare his field? If you compared his field to when Tiger did it,
well, I can't remember the tournaments that Tiger did it, and I think one of them was a major, and but anyway, and so I'm gonna. No offense to the CJ Cup Byron Nelson, but I would imagine that the field that Tiger played against was more competitive than
stellar
what the Nelson has these days.
Well, the eye opener was 3 major championships by the age of 28, and the only other 2 guys to do it was Jack Nicklaus and Tiger Woods.
And the list is short. He's now won 15 PGA Tour events. And the list is very short, about 5 or 6 golfers who have done that before age 29.
You think if Ham wouldn't have flailed at the end, you think he would have?
Rahm?
Rahm. Yeah.
Well, you
can't flail.
You can't can't hit the water twice in 3 holes.
Man, that
right?
hurt. That hurt him.
So
if he wouldn't have played,
I felt very good about that for some strange reason. I don't know. I just that's what I would do. Yeah.
Well, the lesson there is you go play in the live events, live or whatever you want to call it. Live. I said live. You got to play 4 rounds in the PGA, not 3. So.
Oh, they only play 3.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Did not know that.
So come on, big boy. You got to play 4. Can't shoot whatever you.
But they make a lot more money.
Yeah.
Fewer rounds.
Unless you win the PGA.
And fewer tournaments.
Yeah.
And Scheffler's playing Colonial this week, too.
Is he really?
So could have 3 straight weeks of
a local
Not
guy
many people
winning.
go to Colonial anymore, do they?
Oh, they still draw.
You mean the issue?
It's an easy drive for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Chris.
The issue for the local tournaments now is the issue for the Byron Nelson. They haven't been able to find a home course now. It was very popular for fans back in the day. when it was in Irving at the Las Colinas Sports Club,
And Byron was alive.
but from a party
promoting it and
standpoint, the
everything.
pavilion, it was a thing it was an event, and there's a lot of people that would go to the event that didn't realize there was a golf tournament going on. Okay,
My brother said that once. He said, "We're having golf here."
Right.
He was feeling no pain.
And then also the field was much better then because of the respect they had for Byron when he was
That's what I
alive.
mean, yeah.
Okay, and so then what's happened since then has been sad. I think that it will eventually get traction again. But the issue that both tournaments are having right now is they moved the PGA to May. And it was an August tournament. And now that since they moved it to May, the players' schedules are
tight.
Well, they're scheduled around that major.
Yeah.
And if you're playing, like in the case of the Colonial, they're playing the week after the PGA Championship. There's a lot of golfers that are taking a week off.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And Colonial has traditionally it's an old traditional golf course, and until they revamped it here last year and made it more conducive to the Bombers on the tour now, you know, a lot of golfers didn't want to play there because they didn't think their game fit Colonial. But some did like it, you know. So, but it's always been a great tournament and a great event to go to at Colonial.
It's easy to walk.
Yeah, much easier.
I actually played there. Yeah.
You have played there?
Colonial.
Yeah.
It was before the. Hey, I knew a guy.
I knew a guy.
We knew a guy.
You have to have a guy.
Yeah.
It's very gallery friendly as far as being able to walk around and see stuff. Yeah.
All right, OTAs. What are you curious about that might be revealed in an OTA practice where they're really not allowed to compete? Like DBs can't play the ball.
I was going to say, if they can't play the ball, that's one thing. I am just curious about how we're looking in regards to our lineup. I'm curious about who's playing where. I'm curious about Carson. I'm curious about how he's doing. You know, we know about the guys with the injuries and the ACLs. Not worried about that, but who's the backups? Who's going to be the new Jordan Lewis? You know, who's going to be that?
Which is something that they have to solve. I was going to ask what one. So on Friday when I wrote my column, I did it as because Mike McCarthy said this last year, and I think it prevails this year, that the biggest improvement from the team had to come from within. You know, you can rely on draft choices, but they're draft choices. But if you're really going to improve and you don't spend millions of dollars in free agency, then you're depending on some guys to elevate their play from within. So right off the top of your head, who do you want to see take that next step up? Because I got about a half dozen of them that I got in mind.
Marquise Bell.
Okay.
Marquise. I want to see how Marquise is going to do recovering from the season-ending surgery. I want to see if we can find a place for him instead of him just filling in where we need him.
Okay. So
I want to see if he. I still see him as a strong safety. I just see him as a safety.
So I don't
see him as a linebacker.
A lot of his is going to be opportunity.
Yes.
You can't step up if you don't get the opportunity.
Well, I think he earned an opportunity because he sacrificed his body. What was that? 2 years ago, trying to play linebacker.
I know.
And I think he clearly stepped up for the team, did the best he could, got ridiculed for it, got injured. I think if they can come back and put him in the right position, he can make some plays. Along the same line and sometimes Wilson, I need to see more from Wilson, but I think he can play the safety just as well as Wilson can.
Bill, you got somebody in mind?
I always come back to Joe Milton. I want to see Joe Milton.
Don't you?
Don't know what.
Don't you want to see a veteran signed?
That's why I want to see Joe Milton. I want to see what he's got to figure out whether, because I thought all along that they needed to sign a veteran backup quarterback. They don't have one right now. I mean, they got Will Greer.
At some point,
but
they'll
one that
listen
has
to us.
played a number of games. Now, I'm not lamenting the fact that Cooper Rush is no longer here. I think that, no offense to Cooper Rush, but I'm good with going with a different quarterback than Cooper Rush is the backup. I'm just curious whether Joe Milton is the guy or not. And because I don't think Will Greer has shown in his career, and he's 30 years old, that he is the guy. So I'm surprised that they don't have another veteran guy in here.
But it's only May.
It is.
And there's still guys out there.
There's not many, but
And
there will be guys that will become available. That's right.
Yeah,
That's
and there's
exactly
guys out there that have won games in the NFL, like more than one. So
It'll be fun to watch August 16th there, Bill, while you're calling that game.
That's right.
Why? What's wrong with August 9th and August 22nd? Why do we? Oh, you're talking Cooper Rush.
Cooper Rush against Milton.
Yeah.
Against
That's right.
Baltimore,
It's Cooper
right?
Rush versus Joe Milton on Saturday, August 16th.
There you go,
at
Bill.
AT&T Stadium.
You'll find out who the better backup is.
Well, what about when they play Atlanta? Their backup quarterback might be playing Kirk Cousins. Wouldn't that be?
Well.
Okay, I've got a couple guys that I got in mind. One of them, if they're going to make a difference at the cornerback position and not bring in a veteran guy, which I still think they will do, between Kaiir Elam and Kalen Carson, somebody has to take the next step because they need help. Because there's no guarantee Trayvon Diggs is ready for the start of the season, right? And if he's not, then I need an outside guy and I need a guy in the slot.
And Rebel won't be ready either.
And
right?
he has a chance.
He has a chance.
Just watching him do some of his rehab, he's moving along pretty well. Probably starts training camp on PUP just to give him some time to, get in football shape. But which is also now that they have a Thursday opener, they're reporting to training camp a day earlier than they had planned.
Okay.
Because you got to go through your ramp up, and I think they want a weekend of like real football out there. But one of those corners really needs to step up. And another guy, Luke Schoonmaker, tight end. Because, Jake Ferguson played through injuries last year. He looks like he's good to go. But I need that number 2 guy if I'm going to be bullish on using 2 tight end offense. It's got to be more than just a guy that goes in and blocks.
I thought he tried last year to show some diversity. He did.
He got an opportunity when Ferguson was hurt.
Yeah, he caught some balls.
And so if this guy can come,
we've seen before.
If he can come on and you have a 2 tight offense that's that versatile, I think that really helps the offense.
I've always said about whatever, I don't know about the generation or whatever. I just know it may not have anything to do with generational. It's just individuals. I just remember coming up, every player that was on the team, if you're called on to start, no excuses.
Right. You made the roster.
You made the roster. We're not looking for you to just be a special team guy. I'm Ron Fellows. Ron Fellows came in. He was very young and inexperienced at cornerback. And then when Dennis Thurman went down, Ron Fellows, he wasn't Dennis Thurman, but he stepped up as a starting cornerback.
That's what you get with University of Missouri football players.
Why did I step into that one? But, that was the mentality. That was the mentality of it all. Whoever stepped in, I didn't look at Ron Fellows as a backup who came in and started. I looked at him as a starter. He played as a starter. No excuses. And with these guys, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I come off an injury. When you get out there and play, you got to play like a starter. Don't play scared. You can get beat. Man, I remember my rookie, you get beat, but then you got to still play. Eventually, you got to make the play. I mean, you can't just flail the whole game. You can't flail your whole year.
That's what Deron Bland did.
He came in and he played.
That's right.
Right.
He came in, he played. He balled out. That's the kind of players you want. I wouldn't sign anyone that didn't have that mentality.
And my other guy that has to take that next step, Tyler Guyton. Because he's your left tackle.
Yeah.
And you don't have really an alternative there. Now, there were times he played well. There was times it showed that he was inexperienced playing tackle.
And there were times when he was picked on by the refs.
Right.
There was times when he was picked on.
So now it's like, okay, if you play the way you need to play, then that offensive line is
You can't play like last year.
Right.
You cannot. You have to improve.
Right.
You have to improve.
And, when they chose him, it wasn't about his immediate contribution. It was, this guy's got the skills to eventually.
Bill pointed out that he didn't have much playing time at all at OU.
Mm-hmm. And he didn't. And now, okay, it's time. And if you solidify, if he plays at a level that you really need him to play, then you've basically solidified that offensive line by putting Booker at right guard. But I think that's going to be key, because I don't know that they've got somebody else that can bail them out at left tackle.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be interesting to see where they play Awesome Richards, if he's a guard or if he's a tackle. That's going to be one of the key things to look at OTAs.
Speaking of time.
Yep, we're long past time. And by the way, we are now less than 4.5 hours away from the doors opening at Ford Center for the Girls Flag Football Championship Monday.
Go get them, ladies.
Good luck to Ranch View High School, DeSoto High School, Arlington Heights High School, Spruce High School, Pascal High School, Arlington Martin High School, and the team with the first round bye, Dallas Pinkston. Go Vikings.
Wow.
In the Girls Flag Football Championship.
Out there.
And Mickey Spagnola will have a full report on DallasCowboys.com later tonight. And we'll talk at you again next week here on Mick Shots.
Go Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!